Welcome to Community Arts Kitchen.
With this lesson, I'm going to walk you through part 3 of our skin color self-portrait study. With this lesson, you are going to complete your self-portrait by coloring in the hair, the eyes, the lips, and shirt and any other details that you would like. Let's quickly reflect on our process on this project. Part 1 was where you created a chart for different skin colors and you used the watercolors to mix your match of your skin tone, and we kept track of it by creating a recipe chart. Also in part 1, you had then colored in an entire page of your art journal or any other white page with that skin tone, and you let it dry. In part 2, I walked you through the steps of how to sketch a realistic self-portrait in pencil on top of your skin color. This is now an outline and it is ready to be colored in. Before I started to work on coloring in my hair and eyes and lips and other shapes of my self-portrait, I created a chart again with mixing together my hair color, my eye color for my iris, and my lip color. And I used the same process as I did for the skin tones. I used my watercolors. I used lots of water to loosen up the color, rolled my brush in it and brought it over here to my palette. And I kept track of what colors I mixed together as a recipe. So now I have my hair color, my eye color, and my lip color. And now I'm ready to paint it in. So now I'm working right on top of my skin color, and I'm using the side of my brush to paint in the shape of my hair. Right now it's still a shape, and I will add texture and individual strands of hair in later. And I keep on diluting my paint with lots of water. Okay, my hair shape is painted in. I'm going to let that dry. I'm going to clean and rinse out my brush, wipe it on a paper towel, and now I'm really shaping my brush into a nice fine point and just loading my brush with the tip of it with my eye color. And now I'm going to be super careful in just painting in the iris part, which is the circular part of your eye. The inner circle that we drew here is the pupil, which I'm going to go over with a black marker later. So a little bit of this paint goes a long way. Please remember that this part of the eye is actually not colored. That's mostly white, and later on we can go over with a white color pencil to make that brighten that up again. So I'm going to let that dry, rinse out my brush, and now load my brush with the lip color and add the lip color on there. And I feel like this is a little dark, so I'm going to add more water to my brush to lighten this up a little. And I'm just pulling the color from the top down to the lower lip like that. And this area also needs to dry. Now, while the lips are drying, I'm going to go rinse my brush and work up here on my eyebrows. And I feel like this is too yellow, so I'm going to add a little bit more brown. My eyebrows are a little bit darker than my hair color is. So, honoring the shape of the eyebrows that I drew and just using the tippy tip of the brush to brush that in and let that dry. And now I can have fun with coloring in the shirt, whatever color I desire. Now that I have colored in, or painted in I should say, all the parts that I wanted to do with watercolor, I'm going to let this dry and take care of my supplies. I'm rinsing out my brush in water and twirling my brush on the paper towel, making sure it goes into a nice fine point and storing it where it belongs. And I'm going to do the rabbit ear clean trick. I'm rolling a corner of my paper towel into kind of a rabbit ear, dip it in water, just that corner, and now I'm squeezing it down onto the palette and use it like a squeegee. And I had quite a lot of paint mix, so sometimes you have to do it a few times over. Okay, and ta-da, easy cleanup. I like to keep my paints open so they can dry for a few hours before I close the lid. Now that the watercolor on my self-portrait is dry, I am going to add some details and some texture in my hair with some dry point media. So any kind of color pencils or markers or crayons you have would work for this. A dry point is something that you don't need water with. So I'm going to move these to the side, and I'm going to first focus on my eyes. I'm going to use a black color pencil and color in the pupil, and making sure that I'm leaving a little highlight right there that I'm going to then fill in with a white color pencil. And because I want this to be nice and dark, I'm pressing kind of medium pressure. Now with a white color pencil, I'm going around the eyeball and just lightening this eye a little bit, because I had put skin color everywhere, which is what this study is all about, but I don't want really skin color inside of my eye anymore. And now I think I'm going to work on some texture of the hair. You could do that with color pencil and just add some strands of hair. So think about how your hair is falling and laying around your head. And in my hair, I'm noticing lighter and darker strands. So I noticed what happened right here. The paper wasn't quite dry, so it made that indentation. So do make sure that the paper is super dry before you do that. Just wanted to show you, if you don't have color pencils, you can do the same thing with crayons. And if you wish to make this a little bit of a stronger texture, here I actually used some markers, and I enjoyed actually using a color that my hair really isn't to outline. So there's some fun adaptations that you can do. And then of course you can go over the top of the shirt if you wanted to add some texture on the shirt. So this is really artist choice and how you would like to finish this. And if you feel like you wanted to outline your lips a little bit more, just keep going until you're happy with it.
Thanks for watching. Community Arts Kitchen was created and developed by Barbara Libby Steinman and Anna Rochester. See you next time.